So you went on TRL, didn't you?
I did.
So I have a gal that works for me who does social media, and Emily's 25. And we tried to explain to her the other day what TRL was. I was like, you don't understand. This was like the pinnacle. You would rush home every day to watch TRL. You voted. Like if I put in half as much energy into what I did on TRL or what I did for TRL into this next election, we could change the world. Okay.
Do you remember
that like, being in Times Square with the glass?
It was electric. So by the end of 99, I had actually signed a deal with MTV to be an MTV VJ.
Yes.
So I was a part of like that MTV family. I would fill in for Carson sometimes, hosting TRL. I would sometimes be a correspondent down in like the middle of Times Square. And you're right. It's like to explain that now to a young person who just completely missed that part of pop culture. It's like, trying to explain like something in a totally different language. Like it doesn't compute. But for us, like that was such a seminal, nostalgic part of our childhood. Like even as someone kind of being, as intimately involved with like the show or whatever as I was, I still voted. I still was excited to see what the top 10 videos of the day were.
Yeah.
Like I was an active participant in that as well.
Oh, that is so cool.
Oh, it was so much fun. It's such a like strange world that the music industry has changed so dramatically. Like it just, you can't move the needle in quite the same way.
No, and now if you don't have a hit on TikTok, then like I have friends in the music biz and they literally say like all these A&R guys are like, you have to be on TikTok. And then for me, when I go on like Spotify and I listen to music, every song is ruined for me because I just think of that 10 seconds of that song as a woman named Deborah dancing in her kitchen while her kids are in the back of this video choking on dino nuggets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't listen to this song because everyone's a horrible parent from these songs on TikTok.
Totally.
So when Candy took off, so you're doing stuff on TRL and then you're still going out and touring yourself though, right?
Well, no, I was kind of just like, I was on the road with NSYNC, and then once that ended, I went on a fall tour, the Millennium Tour for the Backstreet Boys.
Oh,
I know.
Wait, you bounced from NSYNC to BSB?
To BSB.
Girl, you're bad.
And
Mandy,
that was
you're
like
bad.
That was the actual arena tour. So it was like their show was presented in the round. They flew in. It was epic. So I remember.
Were you still performing at the concession?
No, I was actually on the main stage.
Yes, girl.
I had a tour bus. We had really moved up in the world in 6 months. And I just remember like, again, walking onto that stage with background dancers and like just looking out to the sea of 20,000 glow sticks.
Yeah.
And being totally grateful, but fearless in a way that like, if you were to put me in that exact same position now, I would crap myself. Like I would have to have 50 beta blockers. Like there's not enough medication in the world to like for me to do like and as a young person, you just don't know what you don't know. And I would walk up there without like a care in the world, not even like afraid that I would forget a lyric or something. And
you're just
like, just do my thing.
I bled through 2 super tampons today. I have cystic acne and I'm not afraid of anything.
We're definitely just on a maxi pad then, but yes, correct. Yeah. Tampons were way too terrifying.
Oh my God, I'll never forget that first time. I was at like a a friend's like party or it was like a sleepover in like junior high and I was like the last one to get my period. And everyone was like, well, do you want to just like try one just so you know? And I was like, this girl Courtney was like, Heather, you got to just like try one. And I was like, just trying dry tampons. Just people were cheering, just the girls. You know what I mean? They're like, Heather, you got this. I was like, guys, this is so uncomfortable.
It's not going in.
They say youth is wasted on the young. You know, if you only know what you know now. I don't know why I shared that. Mandy Moore, I'm so sorry.
Listen, that's what this is. That's what this podcast is. We're just sharing tampon stories.
Josh, go ahead and mark that, and we're going to make sure that we use that as the trailer teaser clip to Mandy Moore. Okay, so you're going on the road with BSB. Now, I got a question. I'm not trying to stir the pot too much.
Yeah.
But did you have one boy band that you liked a little bit more than the other?
I would say because I was on the main stage with BSB.
Yeah, BSB.
I was like, and it was a full production.
Right.
Like there was a difference between the lovely NSYNC boys and their like summer amphitheater tour,
right,
versus like that arena tour, which felt like super pro. And that was like, I want it that way, like that record. And you know what I mean? It was like hit after hit after hit. And I just remember being like, I was such a deep fan of both bands, but that record in particular.
Did you ever get like crazy like hate mail or anything where like, you know, the super fans of the BSB guys were like, you know, what's Mandy doing hanging out with our boyfriends?
Nothing that ever like reached me. I mean, I'm sure it was palpable, like walking into these shows and young girls looking at me going like, how dare she? Like, who does she think she is? But thank God that was before the advent of social media. So it's like, I was not hit with like a barrage of like, there's no way to really reach me. Like, you know, you could write like a nasty letter that would somehow end up at like a manager's office or something, but nothing ever reached me.
You had to send directly to a manager's office.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you what, I used to, like social media came out is right when I got into college. I was like one of the first years that like Facebook was a thing, and you had to have the college email in order to get up for, you know, sign up for the Facebooks.
Oh yeah.
If social media was around when I was in college, forget it. I would be in prison. Like I can only imagine what it was like growing up, being young, being in the spotlight without social media. Like what a blessing.
What a blessing.
Because it's already hard, period. It just being at that age, that impressionable age, you know, again, you're fearless, but it's also like, could you imagine if you had grown women being like, you know, you're dancing like a whore, Amanda. You know?
Absolutely. I'm so glad I didn't have to contend with that. I don't know how young people, especially like that are up and coming in this industry and that have no choice, like you have to use it. You have to be an adopter. You have to engage with it. You have
to play the game.
Yeah. That I just like as a young person trying to figure out who I was, that would be, excruciating. Yeah.
So then you made the jump, and I got to say something. I'm not pitting you against any of these other starlets, but the other gals that came up with you at the time, I think you must have had the best team around you, the most solid parents, the most solid family. I feel like you're the one who's taken the healthiest path, if you will.
Kind. I have incredible parents. I absolutely owe the fact that I am 40 years old. I've been doing this for 25 years, like to them and the foundation that they laid for myself and my brothers. But I will also say, in defense of any of my contemporaries, they were extraordinarily famous, like in a stratosphere that I never touched. So I feel like the fame, the success, the adulation that they had to like endure and digest was so different from what I lived through as a young person. You know, like I was still very much allowed to walk around the Beverly Center here and
the Beverly Center. That's a privilege.
Yeah.
To be able to just cruise around the Beverly Center.
Around the Beverly Center.
That is a
and we're talking like in 2000, 2001 when it was like the place to be.
You went to Guess. You went to, you know, the Bloomingdale's. Oh,
I ate at CPK.
Yeah.
I went to the movie theater. Like, I was able to be a normal, regular teenager. And then when I put on like the work hat, I was allowed to do that and be kind of in an adult world and have those responsibilities. And I feel like a lot of those other people that we were all coming up at the same time, like they were not allowed that. They were so famous and bodyguards, and it was just a different world.
You're just sitting outside of CPK, just eating a barbecue chicken pizza, just chilling.
Yeah.